After 10 years in the fitness space and losing 100 pounds, competing in a bodybuilding show, and honestly just doing everything else in between as well, here are the top 10 lessons I wish someone would have told me at the beginning of my journey that would have saved me so much time and honestly just kept me away from so much frustration. So I promise you, by the end of this video, if you take these 10 things, you're gonna be saving yourself so much time as well and not have to go through all the frustration that I went through. So let's dive in. I will say, full transparency, I got my notes right here just so that way I don't ramble, and also a timer as well, just so I can keep on pace. But first things first, sleep is king. I don't care what anyone says, I don't care what anyone thinks. If you are not sleeping, you are not going to make progress in your journey. Yes, I mean, you make a little bit, but there's eventually gonna come a time where you stall out, and that is the last thing that you want to do. So if you are someone that's not prioritizing sleep, getting 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep, but also making sure that it's deep quality sleep, I promise you, you're eventually going to burn out and run into an issue that you can't resolve until you get your sleep fixed. A good example is when I was doing my bodybuilding show for the first time, I was going through a phase where I was abusing caffeine and not sleeping, and my coach was like, hey man, if you don't get your head out of your ass and get some sleep, we're probably not going to end up doing the show because your body just isn't responding. So please know that sleep truly is king. Number 2, protein is king as well. I think oftentimes people that are new on their fitness journey, they don't know what they're doing. They're just like, what do I eat? How do I go about structuring my food? You really do have to prioritize your protein intake. I always tell people this, protein tells your body to do 2 things. Does it do more than this? Yes. But the main 2 things is your body tells your body to rebuild muscle tissue and burn body fat. So the more times you can do that throughout the day, the more fat you're gonna lose and the more muscle you're gonna gain. So that is why you see these bodybuilders, these meatheads, have 4 or 5 meals of protein throughout their day. It's because they're wanting to constantly tell their body to rebuild muscle tissue and burn body fat. So if your goal is to literally burn body fat or build muscle, you need to be eating adequate amount of protein per meal. Honestly, just 3 to 4 times per day, maybe 5, and you'll be good to go. The third thing, weights over cardio. For some reason, it's drilled in people's heads that if they lift weights, especially women, they're going to get big and bulky. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I promise you, you lifting weights and eating adequate amount of protein isn't gonna get you big and bulky unless you just have these crazy genetics that nobody knows about. And if that's the case, I can't lie, I'm gonna be pretty jealous and I would fully take advantage of those. But please, stop prioritizing the cardio. Does the cardio help? Yes, the cardio is just a tool to allow us to burn more calories throughout the day, which is gonna put us in a bigger deficit, which then is going to return help us lose more weight. But the thing that you want to do is that you really want to prioritize the weightlifting, because the more muscle that you have on your frame through obviously weightlifting and eating adequate amount of protein, the more energy or calories your body's going to burn naturally, because muscle burns more calories than fat does. That is why we want to prioritize weightlifting over cardio, because we want to actually build muscle to help us burn more calories in the long term. Number 4, learn how to track macros. I know this one may be a little controversial to people, but I truly am just a believer in tracking macros and understanding macros, because unfortunately, most people don't even know what a macronutrient is. It's a protein, carb, and fat. And once you start to track and you start to understand how much food you're eating, it makes it a whole lot easier once you're further and further down that path. So that you go to a restaurant and you're like, oh, that looks like 6 ounces of chicken. That looks like 6 ounces of beef. That looks like a cup of white rice. It gives you an actual visual of how much that you're eating, which is unfortunately something that most people don't have, because most people just straight up don't know what they're eating. So if you can teach yourself how to track macros, I promise you it's gonna make a world of a difference, and it truly is a lifelong skill. Number 5, supplements are overrated. That fat burner that you're taking, that metabolism booster, whatever it is, right? Is it going to help? Yes. But if you don't have all the things that I have listed prior to this in check, it's more than likely not going to work, because it only works if you do. Does it help kind of get the ball rolling, maybe create a little more consistency and adherence because you know you're taking a product? Yes, but at the end of the day, if you're not checking the boxes of quality sleep, weightlifting, prioritizing protein, prioritizing sleep, that metabolism booster truly is not going to work at the capacity that it could. The supplements that I do recommend that people should take are going to be something like a multivitamin, a fish oil, and vitamin D3. People don't get enough fruits and vegetables in. People don't get enough fish. I live in Oklahoma. I don't know anyone that eats fish on a regular basis, especially high quality fish here. And then a vitamin D3, because most people just don't go outside as much as they need to. Number 6, finish what you start. I think we've all heard people say hey, if you're having a bad workout, just leave. Granted, I do think there's a time and place for that. I truly am a believer that if you are having a bad workout or a bad day and you go into the gym and you're just like, you know what, this isn't for me, I truly do believe that you need to stick it out and follow through, unless it's like some drastic scenario, right? Like someone died, something happened that like needs your attention. I truly think you should finish your workout. The reason being is not because you're training your muscles, but because you're training your mind. Once you start the habit of quitting things and like you start things and you quit them, it starts to become habitual. You start to do that in other aspects of your life. You start to do that in your relationships, your nutrition, your sleep. You start to cut corners in other areas and not following through on your word. And that is something that I kind of had to learn the hard way, because I used to just be like, you know what, I'm not working out today. I'm one set in, I'm leaving. And before I know it, I was 4 months in and I was 20 pounds heavier because I kept quitting everything that I started. So yes, it's going to benefit your muscles, but it's more or less programming your mind to do the right thing. And that is what we really want there. Number 7, do a bodybuilding show or get into the best shape of your life. That might be one of the most controversial pieces of advice ever, because everyone has their opinion on bodybuilding show. And regardless if you do a bodybuilding show or not, I truly think getting shredded once is a thing that everyone should do. The reason being is because it teaches you a whole lot of discipline, and it teaches you how hard you can actually push yourself, because most people don't even know that. But not only that, most people have never known what it's like to walk around with their shirt off and have abs popping, right? It's a really cool thing. Like, as someone that's been 300 pounds and 162 pounds shredded out of his mind, I would take being shredded out of my mind like every single day of the week over being 300 pounds, because, you know, that shit sucks, to be honest with you. So please do a bodybuilding show and get shredded. It would change your life forever. Number 8, do not obsess over the scale. Something that I personally used to do is I really obsessed over the scale at the beginning of my journey. I would weigh myself every single day, and if I didn't weigh less than the day prior, I would just eat less and move more. To be honest with you, that is pretty unhealthy. I don't think it's a bad thing to weigh yourself every single day, because if you're making changes weekly, right, like your check-in days is Saturday or Sunday, the day that you make changes, having all that data is beneficial, because then it allows you to actually go in and make a change where it's like, hey, this is based off data and not just feelings, and you want to make changes based upon data and not emotion. Number 9, know your season. I think for some reason, you know, one of the downsides I will say of doing a bodybuilding show is that people think that they have to live their life like that forever. The purpose of doing a bodybuilding show isn't for you to live your life like that to that extreme. It's just to prove to yourself that you can do hard things. Living like that though, 24/7, 365 is not a sustainable way to live. Sometimes in life, you're only gonna be going to the gym 3 to 4 times per week during 30, 45-minute workouts. Right now, that is literally what I'm doing, is 30 to 45-minute workouts 3 to 4 times per week. And honestly, it's been really nice. But there was a time where I was going 5, 6, 7 days per week, completely annihilating my body. And that eventually led to like, hey man, you gotta make a change here, just because your body pretty much can't keep up. So know which season of life you're in. Know like, hey, I'm in a cutting season. Hey, I'm in a maintenance season. Hey, I'm eating out of surplus. Hey, I'm enjoying more times with family and friends, but still prioritizing my fitness. Or hey, I'm gonna start saying no to going out, and I'm just gonna make things a little more strict. Just know which season you're in and just accept it. Don't try to force it. Just accept where you're at and keep rolling from there. And number 10, this is the biggest thing. You don't have to work out. You don't have to eat healthy. You get to work out and you get to eat healthy. I think oftentimes people think, oh, I have to go to the gym, I have to eat this way. It's like, hey man, you don't have to do anything. Like, part of being an adult and getting older is realizing that you really don't have to do a lot of things that it is that you do. Like, you program yourself to think that way, but you really don't have to. You get to go to the gym. And I think whenever you have the mindset of you get to, it comes from a mindset of gratitude. It comes from a mindset of like, okay, I'm grateful that I get to do this to my body. I'm grateful that I get to train. I'm grateful I get to nourish it, because unfortunately, not everyone gets that option, right? You know, people that are handicapped, people that live in third world countries, people that just strictly don't have the means or the funds to be able to do so, they don't get that option. So every day that you're alive, I think it's just important to remind yourself, like, I get to do this. I get to work out. I get to eat this way. I get to train my body. And because of that, I think that mindset shift will serve you a whole lot longer in the long run, instead of saying you have to do this and burning it. So that is my 10 years of fitness advice in 10 minutes. If you guys took away something from this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what was your biggest takeaway in the video down in the comments below.